Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Geek Index. We are now on episode 9. I'm your host Ankit. With me, I got the wildcard Derek.
How to do?
I got the biggest troll I know, Nelson,
Hey guys.
and then the brother, Greb.
How you doing?
So, what have you guys been playing recently? Because for me, I started playing Final Fantasy 14 the other day. Not bad game. I just don't like the monthly fee shit.
I hate when they charge you.
Well, you're already paying for the game. I don't understand why you have to pay a monthly fee.
It's another online thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it like 11?
Yeah, but like they have two sets of like monthly fees, which I explained to Nelson, which was like you pay $12 and you only have to have like one character on a server.
Really?
Yeah, and then like
For
$14
$12?
12, 13 is like one character, and then $14 or $15 you can have like multiple characters.
But what's like multiple? Because when I play a game like that, I want to have one of every class.
I think you could make up to 8 per server.
I don't know how many classes that game has, so.
Because I was talking to our friend Ricardo, and Ricardo was like, yeah, you don't really need to because you can change your class later on whenever you want to.
Yeah, but still, my biggest issue is like if you change class, then you have to get new gear and get new stats and learn new rotations. I would just prefer one character that has like a dedicated job.
Coming from the WoW expert. The
Yeah.
one that has has gone to the game and come back like multiple times.
And every time I go back, I'm just disappointed. It's like when you look at your report card
Did
and
you
you
get
think you
the
did
new
good, but no. But now there's going to be 2 new ones, right? Because there was
Well, they announced
the Iron Horde,
they
which is the
announced
current one, and now they're
announced the new
doing
one at
Legion.
Gamescom, and then they said they're gonna make another one because they're like, we don't want to make a World of Warcraft 2. We just want to expand this one.
The last expansion I heard of was the Panda one.
That was the one I had bought, but I never even played it. Like I got on it and I saw the pandas, and I maybe quested for like 2 or 3 zones, and I was like, nope, I'm done.
They don't even advertise for it
Kung
anymore,
Fu
do they?
Pandas.
Because at least, Mr. Pandaria was advertised on TV at
A
one
hell of a
point.
lot. And when you go to GameStop, they had those fucking promotional posters up everywhere. But not for these recent ones.
I mean, the premise was really nice, and if you flew around the whole map, it was a really nice experience. But overall, it wasn't worth the monthly fee, at least not for me, because most of my guild had already left.
But yeah, I mean, besides that, I've been going on and off with Awesome Not. The only person I know here that's played is Derek.
Yep.
I'm telling
Awesome.
you guys should just. Don't you have it? You probably got it from a Humble Bundle for like $1.
I might. I'm at the point where I look at my Steam library, and I don't even remember all these bad
That's when
I've
he
made.
goes and questions life.
And it's horrible because I'll get home, I'm like, is there a game I want to play? And I look at my library, and it's instantly nope. Like I
But
just
you
turn my
have
computer
so
off and I
many
go to sleep.
games.
I have like 110.
Then he plays League.
I have
And
about
then I play League.
I have about 80. But there's like people on my friends list that have like 200 plus,
I
300
have
plus
14.
See, I saw one picture. I saw one picture that like exemplifies what Steam is. Steam is the new Pokemon. You don't actually get them to have and play. You get them just to collect.
Collect them all.
You collect them all.
You know, that's what Humble Bundle is because you don't even want all the games from it.
I'm gonna get Nelson
you want, like,
banned
one
on
or
his
two
account.
from it, but you get the rest with it anyways.
I'm gonna get Nelson banned on his account and lose all his games.
That's okay. It's like starting a new game in Pokemon. Just new game. I'll make a new account. Are you a boy
Yeah,
or
but
a
you
girl?
had to pay money to catch each of these Pokemon.
It's okay. Money regens.
All right, Derek, have you 100% Batman yet?
No, I kind of gave up on that. I'm like at 94.
Oh, but you're so close.
Right? Well, last time he was on the podcast, he was like 91.
I was like 92. I just went up 2%. I played the game for like an hour.
It's those Riddler trophies,
Yeah,
man.
that's all
Those
he has
Riddler
left.
trophies suck.
I have like one militia quest left, and then it's the Riddler trophies. I stopped playing Batman though.
Just Hearthstone recently.
I actually played Monster Hunter like once or twice, and then Hearthstone.
I know Nelson has been playing Monster Hunter a lot.
Yeah, I had to take a step away from League of Legends for a bit. I
Just
actually
to rage at another
Yeah,
game.
you're
there's a point where you just get into such a dark spot that you need a light to kind of just pull you out. And I don't know. Taco Bell's been my light for a bit, so. But yeah, I've been playing Monster Hunter recently, and I've been playing a lot of Ark. Forget what the other
Riding
part
the
of Ark is.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, Ark Survival. It's actually a pretty fun game if you play with people.
It's not bad, but like the optimization's so bad.
Yeah, but for those people who could play it, I recommend it. I mean, the things that you can do with your friends is just crazy.
Like I can play a lot of games at max setting, but when I put this game at max setting, it's like nope.
Yeah, like I'll play on high, but there's some points where I'm like running away from a Triceratops and I lag, and next thing I know I'm impaled and I have to start all over again. Because every time you die in this game, you start fresh. Like you start.
Wow.
The only
It's
thing that
almost
you
like-
keep is like
it's almost
your
like
level.
Dark Souls in essence.
Yeah.
Hence survival.
And
Which
it's-
is why you can find your dead body and retake everything.
Yeah.
But like,
There's a timer
some
on
other
it.
players can find it too.
Yeah. Actually, I killed someone today by accident. Well, not by accident. I kind of just stabbed him with a spear because he was.
Oh yeah, man, totally by accident.
Well, I was
My
walking.
fault. My fault. Stab in the chest.
Well, I was walking, and then there was like this diapered thing on the ground, and then I looked at it, and it was a human. I was like, "Whoa, it's level 1!" And then I clicked, and I stabbed him, and I got experience, and I kept walking.
It was just another day in Ark for Nelson.
I chopped them up, got some meat. You know,
I mean, that's
cooked
what I
it later.
usually see them playing when I'm playing Final Fantasy now.
No, and if you play with like high level people, it's ridiculous what they can do. Because there was actually a point where my friend tried to kill me by
Is there a
dropping a
level cap?
dinosaur on me. Oh, I think 50.
Okay.
Like he was on an eagle, and the eagle flew down, grabbed what was it, Dilophosaurus, the one that spits venom, and I was logging off, and he just dropped the damn thing on my body. But I logged off, but I died anyways.
That's gay.
Because at no point do you ever disconnect from the world. Even when you log off, you're still in that world.
Wow, so you have to find a safe place?
Mm-hmm. Either build a structure with a door, or just get ready to take it. Because you're gonna wake up, you're gonna end up in like someone's house, and they're just like mining you for blood. It's like, and you can't die. You have to wait till they either release you or you die legitimately.
Or somebody rescues you.
Or some. Well, that probably won't happen, but
Don't you have like a guild or something going on?
I don't have anything in that world. I just have me, myself. I have a spear. You know,
Yeah, he
slingshot.
uses the
He's
hunt.
all on his own in that world.
Yeah.
But
okay.
you,
What I started playing Tonto the Badass Elephant. Has anyone heard this game? It's a side-scrolling game. It's really, really simple. You just side-scroll, and as this badass Rambo-looking elephant, you just shoot people and make it to the end of each level. It's actually really, really fun.
what is this, a flash game or an actual game?
It's an actual game. I'm pretty sure it's on Steam. I played it at a friend's house.
Okay.
Oh my god, that sounds like a bad version of a Disney movie.
Like if Dumbo went
Like
evil.
Oh
Dum-
wait, no, I
Dumbo
think I
went
heard
rogue.
about this, but like I didn't hear good things about it though.
It's really repetitive, and like you can either walk or run, and if you run, you're already like 2 seconds late to jump. Like if you run, you're delayed to do anything. They're just like, oh, you're gonna run. Oh, look, you ran right into a ditch, and then it makes
So
you.
failing game mechanics.
Yeah, and I think there's only like 10 levels in the game, but like other than that, you get to be an elephant that just shoots
How
out a
long
lot
are
of
you?
other
How
things.
long are the levels?
Probably like 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
That shit better be like $1.
Yeah, I don't think it's too expensive. I played it at a friend's house. It's been really fun though. I just like being this badass elephant with a bandana on, shooting at people.
Yeah, sounds like nightmare fuel.
Is this it, Nick?
Yeah, that's it actually.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did see this. I heard really bad things about
It's
it.
just like
I'm
something out of Chowder.
I didn't hear anything
Yeah.
good about it, but like the minute I just heard the title, I was like, Tonto the what? Badass elephant? Yeah, I'll play this. And then it didn't.
It's one
at
of
all
those
meet
games you play for the
expectations.
name. Don't care how the game play quality is.
All right. Let's move on to the news. So there's a couple of things in the last 2 weeks. Let's start off with a delay. Mighty Number 9.
Again.
It got delayed again.
I-
This time to next year. Not like a few weeks or months. It's till next year.
You know what's really funny? That Game Informer, like when I just got Game Informer, it was just like, oh, look at all the things in September. Mighty Number 9 sure is coming up real quick. And then I heard that delay, and I was just like,
Yeah,
It
supposed to
was
come out
so
today.
close.
right?
I mean, that could be tactical, but I know the creator of Mighty Number
Yeah,
9
but
is gonna be
everyone's
at that-
pissed
that
now.
convention in September. I mean, he might be
You mean
Inafune?
Waku Waku, I think it's called.
oh Waku Waku?
And
Yeah,
He's gonna be there, so maybe he's gonna announce something.
that's actually
or
at the end of
something.
this month
Is it at the end of this month? Yeah.
in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, yeah. It's 4 different
Psych, it's
locations.
coming out in September still.
No, it's because he had another game on Kickstarter, which failed, because a lot of people are like still like, what the fuck is going on with Mighty Number 9? So it was called Red Ash. It was like you guys ever played Mega Man Legends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a spiritual successor to that essentially. Kickstarter failed pretty bad, but like they got like a sponsor to back up the remaining money or whatever, so it looks like it's gonna happen.
When Kickstarter fails, just backup sponsors.
Essentially, I mean, Kickstarter is just really to get the name out now. So even if it doesn't,
Yeah, because most
if
people
it
get
doesn't
sponsors
pass,
even
yeah.
after the Kickstarter to go.
because there's always that like one dedicated entrepreneur that's like, I totally want to see this become.
Not
a
only
game.
that, like there's like Kickstarter is like weird because
It's just free advertising.
You can say whatever you want in your Kickstarter shit and use it for whatever the fuck you want it to.
Yeah, because even once the Kickstarter's over, and I think you reach your goal, like you don't have to actually do the project. Because there was one really...
No, it's in their policy about something like that.
No, it's in their policy that they should, but they don't have to.
Oh, is it that?
Yeah.
I felt like they do actually get into a lawsuit if they don't actually...
No, it's like once the money is theirs, it's theirs. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I remember the one thing with the potato salad. Like I wanted to put a potato salad on Kickstarter and ended up getting a couple $1,000. So he threw a potato salad party.
Well, remember, some of that goes to tax.
Yeah, I think it's like a 10% Kickstarter fee. And then
10% on Kickstarter and then a bit to tax.
Yeah.
I want to throw a potato salad party.
Oh, it's taxed because it wasn't a gift. That's right. Because Kickstarter money is not a gift.
Derek, if you make a Kickstarter for another potato salad party, I will personally back you on
Yeah, but
this.
I don't want to do another potato salad.
The worst part
like,
was how many people made another Kickstarter, like Kickstarter's equivalent to that.
Yeah, like Kickstarter, if you see it, it's like troll heaven because you can post whatever you want.
And it depends. It's all up to the people whether it's funded or not.
Yeah, depending on how many people reblog you will depend on how much like notoriety you get.
Yeah. And that one got notoriety like in day one. It was a $15 Kickstarter that got over 40K. Like.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on, I think it was Imager. It was just this big potato thing. There's a whole thing of how his thing evolved because originally it was like $15 he wanted. And then it's like for every like 100 he added like, oh, now you get 2 bowls of potato salad. Or now you get like paprika. And now I'm going to throw a potato salad party. And you're just like, wow, I can't believe people actually back this.
It's potato salad, man.
I guess.
But yeah, so a lot of people are salty about that because like Mighty Number 9 was supposed to come out earlier this year, like way earlier. Then it got delayed to September. And now it got moved again to next year.
Is it like specifically like full next year, like September 2017,
or
is it just next
year,
year, like sometime in like January?
Like 4 or 5 months. That's still a move though. Like 4 or 5 months.
The fact is, yeah, we still have to wait for
Yeah,
it.
It's going to be
obviously.
mid-September, October, November, December, January. Like if we're looking at like January, February minimum, it's like good.
I already
4 or
got
5
so
months.
impatient. I started playing Mega Man X again.
What'd be hilarious
Yeah,
is
I
you
watched
wait. What'd be hilarious is like you wait till it comes out in what would be like April, and you get it, and it's like a 5-minute game. It's like just one boss, and you just like run through, and that's it.
See, it's so weird. The press
I'll throw
behind
Ankit's
Mighty Number
computer
9,
like across the room.
but Mighty Number 9 gets like the weirdest press. Like people were like excited because it was like the Mega Man game people wanted for next gen, and then people saw gameplay trailers and demos of it, and they're not souped anymore.
Because
they
just
keep
like
us
Mega
waiting.
Man.
Yeah.
Next on the list, you guys know Gearbox, the people that made Borderlands.
Okay, yeah.
Their MOBA, Battleborn. It's not a MOBA. It's a first-person shooter with MOBA elements.
So Smite.
I guess, yeah. I guess you
Yeah.
can say that.
Be like a FPS
But
Smite then.
yeah, it's an FPS Smite essentially. You finally got a release date because I don't know if they even did a beta for this.
Really?
Maybe they're so
Because
close out.
MOBAs is just the thing now, I guess.
I mean, it's
It is,
diluted.
dude. There's MOBAs everywhere now.
And you see a whole bunch of them starting up, but not too many succeed because everyone's
Yeah.
just copying each other. Like,
Which
look at
one? Strife is out.
There's not really
right?
much.
Strife. There was the other one. There was the
There's a
Infinite
couple.
Crisis.
Man, that lasted like a year.
It lasted a year and it was fun. I know I put
Infinite
money
Crisis
into
was
it.
great, and then you slowly
But
wanted
at the
to
end
kill
of the
yourself
day-
the more you played it.
If you really just look at it, it's just a League of Legends really copy and paste. Because the map, even the starting map was a Dominion map. The second map that came out was a Twisted Tree Line map, and the third one that came out was just a Rift
Yeah,
map.
there's really no variety unless
No.
like you add like 5-lane.
Like multi-tier, like you go downstairs and here's a new level where you
Yeah,
have to,
like
fight
you
each
either
other.
double the amount of people on your team, have 10 people on your team with like 5 lanes.
and 3 of them are spies.
That actually brings me to an interesting point because Valve announced for Dota 2 custom game of 10v10.
Really?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like the lag and the
That's
freaking ping?
that's just increasing the
Oh my
amount of
God.
trolls you
So
get.
now they got a 20-player 10v10 custom game,
And Dota's not a game for like
And
people to just pick up either. That one's
it-
actually
yeah.
pretty deep.
and it just came out like a couple of days ago, like after their international championship, which the winning team took $6.6 million, over 6.6 mil.
What am I
Man.
doing with my life?
Comparatively, that's not even that much.
Huh?
Because if you look at the League of Legends championship, it's like what 10 million, like 2 million per person,
Is that the prize pool or is that like the main prize?
the main prize.
That's the main prize.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember, Dota 2 has only been has less market share than League.
Yeah, but it's weird because that one came out first.
Mhm.
Dota 1 came out first.
Dota 2 came out before League did.
Did it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was just on. Well, it was like an open beta forever, and then like League of Legends came out. But the thing is, like, people don't want to learn Dota because it's like you have
It's
to eat
really,
trees
really,
to like
yeah. It's
to like get
the
your
learning
health back.
curve for it is humongous. I tried playing it after I already learned how to play League. I tried playing Dota. I was like, what do I have to do with the trees? And then now, like, you can literally cut down trees to make another path
Mm-hmm.
to walk around to like different areas.
And then there's things like day and night. You can't just
Mhm.
instantly go back to Fountain to heal. You have to walk. There's a moving donkey that gives you your items.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even champions. I think one was called like what was it, like BMO or something like that. And it's like, if you guys have ever played League of Legends, it's like a Teemo that splits into like 4 different characters.
You can
and you
have
have
an
to
infinite
control
amount.
each one individually.
Mhm.
So you have like 4 different places on the map that you have to watch.
There's
as
one
you level up
character
as
that
well.
summons a comet from the sky and it rolls on the floor for a bit.
There's one, it's like a bat, and it like just flies over the whole landscape. That's like one of its abilities. It just flies over the whole landscape, over the trees and everything, and just starts bombing things. So Dota's pretty cool, but it's not
But
for me. I'm not
yeah.
worth learning. I'm not really about learning all that.
It's too complicated,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if we learned Dota, we'd be like platinum.
right?
Like we'd go back, we'd be streaming, making so much money.
So a speedrunner put up a bounty for a Mario 64 glitch. Like a glitch that hasn't been seen before. That's why he put up this bounty for $1,000. If you can replicate this glitch and give him the file, he'll give you $1,000.
What's the glitch?
So you know how there's like warp glitches where like they do a special thing and all of a sudden your character's like at the top of the level or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like he did that by accident while doing the game, like while playing the game, but his log didn't catch it. So like it warped him in a different way that's never been seen before.
But aren't all speedruns from Mario 64 just cheat your way up the stairs to Bowser?
No, I mean no. This is a 120 star speedrun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, though that one's.
I was about to say, you can just automatically cheat your way up the never-ending stairs, and there you go.
I mean, I think that's crazy that we've come to a point in our existence where we're putting up money for people to play a video game and like replicate a glitch.
Yeah.
Like, I know I saw the one guy, he did the Super Mario World glitch where on the first world you can instantly win the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, that is mad
Yeah,
calculation.
that's
man.
the most complicated nonsense I've ever seen. He was like, if I stand in this spot with such varying degrees and then just throw the shell and it hits this 9 times, to this to 2 times, to this to 9 times, run over, drop this item, boom, end of the game. I'm like, who would have thought of this?
At that point, I don't even think you should have to go to college for math anymore. Like, you should just automatically pass.
But how did he find this?
That's the thing. People just find the randomest shit and then like.
Like, I have the time to pick up this shell and throw it over here.
Well, no, because I think they probably look at the coding and figure like there's a way
that's
to
some
get.
Matrix stuff. Like, if
Yeah.
you're looking at the coding and it's just streaming down your line, you're just like,
You're
yes,
like, I
number
see a
6,
hole in the
yes.
matrix.
Because that's what the Super Mario World glitch is in the World 1. Like you're glitching the code that plays the credits after you like fuck with the code. So you don't really beat the game. It just skips to the credit and it's just like you won.
That's ridiculous. It's not even about like trying to see who has like the most fun. No, I guess it's never been about fun. It's always just been about like I can do this faster, and then all of a sudden I can glitch the credits. And you're like, well,
That just takes all the enjoyment out of the game,
Yeah.
Or-
These developers work so hard just for you to skip to the end.
right? From World 1, Level 1.
And that's what I'm interested in because Super Mario Maker is coming out.
What is that? I keep hearing about that, and I have no idea
So
what
it's
it
a
is.
game where you can make your own Mario levels on the Wii U.
But is it any Mario game you get to choose from?
It's the original Super Mario 1, Super Mario 3, Mario World, and then New Super Mario Bros. So those are the 4 templates. And you can just press a button to switch between templates. So whatever you make in World, if you just press like the World 3 template,
It
everything
automatically
changes
goes.
to like World 3 style.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
I mean, don't people kind of already do that?
Huh?
Like with the custom worlds that people
Yeah,
make?
there's
they,
videos
but they
of it all
actually
on
have to
YouTube.
they actually code and stuff for that one.
Mm.
Like for this one, this could be anybody could do it. It's a
Yeah.
game designed just for making it.
Nintendo was like, we saw you doing this. We should at least profit off
Like
of it.
Yeah.
some people already started making levels. Man, it looks like it's gonna be a rage fest.
Yeah.
That's why we're gonna do the Geek Index version. Everybody makes a world.
Oh,
Put
that's
invisible
gonna be
walls
great.
everywhere.
Yep.
I would just try not to make it beatable. Like I think I would put like the exit
not
thing
fair.
like under lava.
No, it has
But
to be.
you know the rest of the world's already gonna do that anyway. They're
Okay,
gonna be
you
like,
could
"Let's make
beat
the
it
most
if you
unbeatable
make sure the
level."
last number on the clock is 6 and that you've kicked
I
up
don't think
shells
you
8
go that
times and you've
in-depth.
I mean, here's what I noticed though, like what people do make it seem like it's impossible, but they make it so it's like Dark Souls, Demon Souls. You learn as you play,
Mm.
Oh,
So you
I've
fuck
seen
up.
those runs. Yeah.
The
And
more
they-
you die, the more you realize what's going
and
on.
nobody put checkpoints in their levels. So if you die,
all the way
all
from the
back to
beginning.
Is there a limit to how long the levels can be?
Yeah, I think so. But I don't know. This one guy made a level I saw this morning. He made it a loop, so the guy kept on going up. He thought the stairs just kept on going forever, but it was just the pipe that kept on making him go in a loop.
How about
He had to
you,
do that
sir?
Super Mario World, Super Mario 1 thing where you had to jump on the platform while it's rising and then go across it to take the shortcut to the worlds. Like it was essentially that, like to get.
Oh,
to
like
the
when
level.
you were in the underground.
Yeah.
You go off screen.
Yep.
And then like the flowers become world and it's like jump to like world 1 or
Yeah.
yeah.
So he did that just to beat the level regularly.
It's actually pretty cool.
Mine is gonna be so easy.
I wish we could do that in real life.
I'm just gonna make a
Straight line.
straight line from beginning to end.
I would
Do
make
we
like
have a
the
release date
exit.
for that game?
Huh?
Sir,
Yeah.
What's the release date?
September 11th.
Well done, Nintendo.
Dun,
What?
dun, dun.
Yeah, September 11th.
During the worst time of destruction, how about you build a Mario
Wow.
world? Build the Mario
It's
Towers.
because they always release game on a Friday.
They kind of just added 7 more days.
Yeah, no,
Done a
or
big freaking Mighty Number 9 just like release it like a month after.
Or like add 7 days minus 7 days, but nah, it's coming out September 11th.
Wow.
All right, so you guys know PlayStation Plus, right? It's PlayStation's
Essentially, Xbox
subscription.
Live service.
Yeah, it's Xbox Live now for PlayStation
Okay.
4, anyways.
Well,
It's
yeah.
PS3, it's still like you don't need PlayStation
free?
Plus to play online.
But it benefits you greatly. That's their little tagline. Like,
because-
you don't need this, but you should want this.
Well, because they give you 6 games a month,
Yeah.
and that's only great if you own all 3 PlayStation systems.
Oh, because they're not all 6 games for the same console.
No, it's
Yeah, you can get
it's
it for like the
two
Vita.
2 for Vita, 2 for PS3, and 2 for PS4. If the game has cross platform, meaning like it's a game that's made on PS3, Vita, and PS4, then it'd be on all of the systems. You'll get it for all of them.
I mean, that's still not bad. Especially, how much you have to pay a year for that? Like 60 or something?
50.
50? I mean, that's
And-
what, 24 games
Well,
free
it's
a year
50 for a
one
year,
system?
$18 for 3 months, and then $10 a month. So
Wow.
if anybody got a month one, man,
Yeah, even the 18 for 3 months, because that's only $6 a month. Like, that's great.
yeah, that's not bad at all.
$1 a game, essentially.
Yeah,
And the
when you think
games
about
are
it that
worth
way,
it.
Yeah.
Games
And
are usually worth
that's where
it.
this point is coming from, because now they added a new feature where vote to play, meaning so they give you 3 games now to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
You get to vote which game is going to be one of the free games for next month.
Oh, word. So what's this month's?
Grow Home and 2 other titles. I didn't care about any other ones besides Grow Home. But so like the winning one gets to be the free game of the month, and then 5 other games they choose, and then the other 2 won't be free, but they give you a discount sale on them.
See, that's not bad. Because I really feel like those corporations need to reach out to the gamers and kind of get them to give them input as to what they expect out of them.
But see, the
which is
only
really
problem
good.
is recently though they've all been mostly indie games.
I mean, but some indie games are actually pretty
Yeah,
good.
no doubt. Like the one I voted on. I hope it wins.
I mean, and that's kind of good because it kind of keeps all the producers on their toes. Because if they're only competing with other big title names, some of them aren't even really in the same genre. So being able to compete with people who don't have the money to do big things is actually pretty cool. I like that.
But people want that AAA title.
Yeah.
But the rarity of them never coming is like,
I mean, if you really want that AAA title, you probably need to pay more than
Yeah,
$50 a year.
No,
You
I
know.
mean they gave us. I wouldn't even consider this a AAA title because it's like a demo. Metal Gear's Ground Zeroes.
Oh.
I don't.
Because that was the free game like a month ago or 2 months ago. But like it means nothing when it's only like an
It's
hour
like-
long.
Yeah.
That's
Didn't
probably
somebody
just to
beat
hype
that-
the real game when it comes out.
No,
didn't
it's
somebody
like
beat Ground Zeroes in
it
like
was
40
like
minutes?
to hype up the full game because people have
Never
been waiting
played
it. So they're just like, hey, play this to satisfy your hunger.
Does Ground Zeroes or what is the new one? The Phantom Pain.
Yeah, the Phantom
When
Pain.
it, does that when what's the amount of time between when Ground Zero's released and when Phantom Pain's supposed to release?
Ground Zeroes came out last year, March
And
or February.
Phantom Pain comes
out in
out.
2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I've been slacking on my Metal Gear.
I mean, the best thing about that game, well, let's not say best, because it's not the best. But the only thing I know about that game is that it's no longer Kojima.
He still made the game. He's just getting no credit for
His
it.
name's not on the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
like
removed him from everything.
It took like a Sharpie and just like filled it
Interesting
in.
fact. People found out online because, people just find crazy shit. So you find like hidden messages in Ground Zeroes about Kojima leaving. He put in his own demise into Ground Zeroes.
Like you walk to the end and there's a corpse at the end. It's just named like
Well,
Kano
not his death,
Kojima.
but he's like, he's hinting at the fact
He's
that
the
he's
final
no longer
boss.
in Konami.
You must fight Hideo, and you're like, who are you?
Oh my god, he
Right.
plays the same way Psycho Mantis plays.
You had to switch the controller.
But you
slot.
just can't switch the controller slot like it's like it was what?
Yeah.
Oh no, it was. it
Well,
was on the
it reads
console.
your memory card and looks at whatever game you played the most. And it's like, I see that you like playing this shit.
Imagine that, like it's like, oh, I see you like playing
Wait,
Dead
who's-
Souls, and
who's,
all the Dead Soul minions appear in the game, and they just mess you up.
Whose radio thing was on the back of the box?
Meryl.
No.
Mary, yeah. See, I lost the box.
And you could never progress.
You see, I got it from Blockbuster, and I was looking on the back of the box at every number I could find, and I was like, what number are you talking about? Until I literally had to go from each number on the codec, just like, call nothing, call nothing.
Wow,
call
Nick went
nothing.
through trial and error.
That is dedication. I think
Well,
I just
think
ended
about
up
it,
going
we
on to
didn't have
GameFAQs.com.
like,
We didn't have
Cable
GameFAQs or
or anything.
anything like that.
no, GameFAQs was around, but it was
I
all
had-
dial up.
I had to
Oh,
call.
yeah.
I had to call someone who actually had the game box.
All right, moving on. There was some news from Square Enix front this weekend. Obviously, they went to D23, which is Disney's Disney Expo, where they just talk about all their franchises.
That's where they
and whatnot.
released a whole bunch of. They announced like
for,
all
all
yeah.
their Disney stuff. They have one in here, which was just this weekend. Then they have one in Japan,
Where is it in America?
in Anaheim.
Yeah,
Anaheim?
the Disneyland, right?
Not in Disneyland. It's like
Oh, it's just a separate convention?
yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
a
convention
convention
center in
center.
Anaheim that they use. So Square Enix only showed up for the interactive panel
Okay.
to talk about games, and obviously you guys know what game they talked about. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Whoop whoop.
So
the
all-
game that's never
they
gonna
didn't even
end.
show any footage or anything. People were like getting hyped. They're like, "Oh man, they're gonna show shit." I'm like, they showed a screenshot of
Of
Big
the cover
Hero
Hero
art.
6.
Big Hero 6.
And everyone lost their shit.
They
Right?
did.
All you need is a screenshot of San Francisco, and everyone's just like, this is gonna be
It
great.
wasn't just a screenshot of the city though. There was
It was
Baymax. There was
just
both
Baymax and Hero.
No, Baymax and Sora on top of Baymax, and then Dark Baymax.
I'm actually pretty excited about that.
Oh, well, obviously.
Like I honestly think, like I think I was telling Ankit earlier, that they should add what was it, Hero's brother to the game as like a Heartless.
That's gonna
That'd
be
be
depressing
pretty
as
good.
hell.
No,
Yeah.
because he'd be like a Heartless. He'd just be evil. He's controlling the evil Baymax.
This is gonna be a twisted storyline.
Well, because they're trying to make this a sequel to the movie, essentially. Because the storyline they revealed so far, spoilers, is the Baymax that got left behind in the portal, is the
Yeah.
one that's the villain in the Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh.
Because it makes sense
yeah,
because he
that's
was left
right.
with only his dark chip, his fighting chip, because they took out the healer chip.
yeah.
So just the dark shell that you saw before. Spoilers: he tried to kill the villain in the movie.
But like,
Spoilers.
essentially, the like, I guess Organization 13 or whatever, like finds it and like turns it.
No,
into
now they're
their
not even
weapon.
Organization 13. They're the 13 Hearts of Darkness, because, we have to make this
It sounds
sound
like a
that much
really-
more
Isn't
Isn't
familiar.
it like
dark
Xehanort
rock
plus
band.
12?
right?
Spoiler.
Spoilers.
Um,
It's like Xehanort plus 12. Cause
You
they're
guys
all
want to
like
go see the
Xehanorts.
13 Hearts of Darkness?
No, I saw them last month.
Also,
I'm going to
within the
their
last 2
concert.
weeks, Square Enix was talking about their remake of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I'm so excited. That's when I'll buy a PS4, just to get the special.
They're gonna
Final
they're gonna
Fantasy
have the
VII
bundle. Yeah,
PS4.
they're gonna have the bundle, the special. They have a special Darth Vader PS4 coming out.
Dude, that one was
That's what I was
exciting.
going to talk about. That I forgot to mention. The Darth Vader one.
That one looked pretty good.
It looked good, but I didn't like the whole Star Wars thing being written around.
I
like,
think
across the whole thing, but it was just looped.
Well, I don't know.
Star Wars
The
written.
one thing I saw
I
that
didn't
was
like
really
that.
cool out of that bundle is like you get the system, you get the game, and you also get an inhaler.
Not an inhaler.
Yeah, you get
Anyway, there's 2 bundles though. There's not just one, because there's a bundle that comes with Battlefront And then there's a bundle that comes with Disney Infinity 3.0.
Isn't that the one where you have to like buy the?
Yeah,
It's Skylanders for Disney.
Yeah, but it does. Each version still comes with a little download code for Super Star Wars and like 3 other old school games, all with trophy support.
Super Star
Wasn't
Wars
that
for
the one
Super
for like
Nintendo?
NES?
Oh, that was the
The
greatest
hardest,
game ever.
one of the hardest
my
games
God.
ever.
Right. It's right up there with E.T.
But anyways, so they were talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake. So from what they said, it says they're not using the engine they're using for Final Fantasy 15. And they're not using an in-house studio from what it sounds like. So I think they're using Unreal Engine 4.
They've also talked that they're completely like everyone's expecting a very exact replica of Final Fantasy VII, just with completely updated graphics. But they've even talked about the battle system's not going to be the same. Don't expect the same. Like, wait for like the time to come up and then your commands come up. Like it's probably gonna look like Final Fantasy 15, the battle system.
See, I'm probably gonna get crucified for saying this, but I want them to change the gameplay. I don't want to have like super fucking HD like CGI movie graphics and them just going back and forth of just hitting each other. It seems like a waste.
Yeah, because I mean that was like a great engine for its time, but
I just
it's
feel like it's a
2015
waste to have
now.
like CGI movie graphics and then your characters just going back and forth hitting each other.
I'm probably the odd man out, and I'm not excited at all for the remake because I'm actually just really tired of seeing remakes left and right.
No, I completely agree with you.
But it's
this is
Final
not
Fantasy
but
VII.
this is a remake, not a remaster.
Remastered. But I don't know. It better
I'm
be
getting
like,
tired of remasters. There's
Yeah.
a difference.
It's like, oh, you want new game? Here you go. This is a game that came out
They're
in
gonna
98.
make Tifa's tits bigger.
Yeah, but they remastered games that came out like a week ago.
The Last of Us came
Yeah,
out.
like
Let's
Last of Us,
remaster The
yeah.
Last of Us.
Then
I'm
it's
like-
really not even The Last of Us. It's just like, just wait for the next of us.
The like literally the only difference was they made it definite 60 FPS on the PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even definite. I think it was like
Was it?
it still varied a little bit. I think I could be wrong. And then they added the DLC that came out with it. That's it.
Yeah, it came with it. I mean, that's what they've been doing with all like last gen games for the current gen. I mean, like Injustice, they were just like, now you can get all the characters at one time. And I'm like, well, thanks for making me
Yeah,
spend
that's
all my
why-
money just to buy the game with all the characters.
Yeah,
now.
that's why I always wait for like something similar to like a Game of the Year edition. Because right now, with all the micro purchasing things, it's just annoying.
It's annoying.
Like you buy a game and it's like you only get like a quarter of the game. Everything else you still have to pay on top.
Yeah.
And
Which is what me and Gabe were talking about last week when we went on our Final Fantasy 15 Rage Fest, because that Action Time report I told you about.
which was what we're gonna give you the to be announced date for
So
the next
yeah,
trailer.
so they did, I'll reiterate in like just for like this sake. So they had a Final Fantasy 15 presentation. The presentation was like answering shit that we already knew, and them saying we're not allowed to tell you the release date, but we can give you the announcement of the release date later. So they're gonna give you an announcement about the release date of when they can announce it later.
it's like
At
a
another
now.
date.
Yeah.
It sounds like the premise for like an Inception movie.
Yeah, and then they were like, "Yo, you know those other conventions that are gaming conventions that are gonna happen? We're gonna bring the same exact trailer and play them everywhere."
This is the date that my girlfriend's gonna say that she's pregnant.
Oh my
I'm
gosh, she's
gonna
gonna
let
give
you
birth to
know
the game.
This is the date of the day I'm gonna let you know when I'm gonna think about proposing to
But,
you
like-
on the next day.
But we're talking about that. I brought that up because the microtransaction thing you're talking about, because they're having trouble implementing airships. They might add as DLC. And I was really angry when I heard that, because I was like,
Well,
There's
no,
always
they
airships.
turned it into different game modes now, right?
"What?
For Battlefront.
No,
What are you
we're
talking
talking
We're
about
talking about Final Fantasy 15 still.
I'm still
But-
on Battlefront.
But then again, that's all our fault because we actually buy it. So
Yeah, I completely agree. But like when they said no airships, I was like, come on, man. Every Final Fantasy main title comes with an airship.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Whenever you get the airship, you already know that you're like at 70%.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly true.
That's like
Basically,
the checkpoint. You're like,
Based
oh,
on the
you get an
vehicles you
airship.
get, you always know how far you are. I mean, like
Mhm.
you get like the land vehicle, then you get the ocean, then you just get to traverse the whole map, and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty much done.
Yep.
Actually, 13 never had an airship.
Yeah, it did, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it did.
Did
It was a big red one or something like that. I mean,
The red one. What? Red one?
No, that was during CGI. Like,
Which one? Are you talking the one with Bond?
cutscenes.
Oh yeah,
The
they're
only
in
time-
cutscenes.
Oh,
It counts.
No. You only do it to get like to progress to the story. Remember, you find these portal things that take you back to the planet.
yeah. Final Fantasy 13.
Well,
my
the
opinion,
portals
is a
were
failed
in the
project.
air, so they count.
Shut the fuck up. But yeah, I mean, that was it. Well, they also announced that Final Fantasy 15 is going to be the first Final Fantasy that's released simultaneously globally.
Well, that's
Oh,
dope.
how like
But-
Pokemon did it with X and Y, I guess. How they
Yeah,
released it the
something.
same day
I mean,
everywhere.
Yeah.
Is there like some type of online function for 15?
I don't think so.
'Cause that's the
Probably
only.
not.
That, I don't know. That's what I would be hyped for. Because
But like it's doing a global release, and he also confirmed it's coming out before 2017. So it has to come out next year, is what he's insinuating.
Can I just say, by the time this Final Fantasy comes out, we will already be probably around 2 universes removed from the Final Fantasy this is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about the 13 universe.
Well, they share the mythology.
Well, yeah, because they came out with this. It's what's it called? The Fabula Nova Chrysalis saga or whatever. And
What'd you call me?
they had it for 13. Then they had the PSP or the Vita game that it was supposed to be about. And then they were like, "This is the third game in the mythology." But like, we're already at like.
But the mythology doesn't even share too much. It's just the terms. Like, what was it, Falsey and Elsie?
Yeah.
And whatnot. Those are like the only terms they shared.
that was like a race, right?
It was
Yeah.
the people that got marked with the brand.
If
Yeah.
you were
Had
like
to do the
Falsey,
mission,
you
yeah.
weren't as important
Yeah.
compared
And
to
those,
like
those
an LC,
and, no,
or
and
maybe
this,
vice
it's still
versa.
using the same mythology.
Yeah, but we're already like 2 universes removed from that. That's
How?
like saying like
There's no.
the Shinra. This is the game about the Shinra company, and then like by Final Fantasy X, where we don't even know who the hell that is. We're just like, yeah, we're still back here though. Just remember that when the game comes out. Don't worry about what's going on over there. Yo, stay back here.
Yeah, but there hasn't been another main Final Fantasy title in between, besides 14, which is an MMO. So that's like completely different category.
They'll come out with another one, and they'll just rebrand it
A
all
lot of people
over
are
again.
making jokes that saying Kingdom Hearts 3 was going to come out before Final Fantasy 15.
It is.
I wish. I mean, I really want that game to come out, but just the fact, have they released a release date?
For what, 3?
Yeah.
No, what they confirmed for 3 and 15 is that at the company, they actually have a release date in mind. They just won't release it publicly yet.
That helps. That's
So
like, well, I
I-
have a cure for your disease, but I just don't want to tell you yet. You know, and I have been itching for Kingdom Hearts for the longest time. And
I
we've just
think-
been appeased with like these
Because
filler games.
you're probably like the only one person I know that got a PS3 specifically for Kingdom Hearts 3.
I really thought it was gonna be on PS3 because I thought it was gonna be like.
What was the last?
I didn't think it
Kingdom
was gonna be
Hearts
like
game?
an 8-year freaking difference.
Dream Drop Distance.
Dream Drop
that was
Distance,
that was the last one that,
That
was,
was-
not a remaster.
That was the last storyline game,
Yeah.
right?
And aren't
And
they
that was
making a
3DS.
web browser one?
Well, that's that's considered a side game.
Yeah, well, they've all been
Because-
really considered side games. Well,
Dream
yeah.
Drop Distance should have been a main title in all.
Dream
intents and
Drop
purposes.
They're
Distance
coming
was-
out with the phone game for Kingdom Hearts, aren't they?
That's,
Coded?
that's the one he's talking about. That's the browser game.
What?
That'd be like what the third phone
Recoded?
game that came
Isn't
out.
that out already?
Not recoded. Unchained.
Yeah, because Kingdom Hearts likes chains. They're into
Yeah.
that BS.
They like to
they're-
change
they're
your
into that.
memories.
50 Shades of Hearts.
But what do you call it? Like in all intents and purposes, I think Dream Drop Distance should have been a main title.
I mean, it
It
wasn't
was
bad.
really well done for a 3DS game. Like,
Well, I consider it a main
Yeah.
title because it actually had a very important story shit in there.
it was like the first game out of like, besides like 1 and 2 that actually progressed the main story as opposed to just going back in time. Like every other
Like-
Kingdom Hearts that comes out is always like backstory. Just keep backing up.
Like,
Back
I
it-
like
just
Chain of
come on.
Memories.
Like, to be fair, like Dream Drop Distance, the story only really mattered in the beginning of the game and the end. The whole
Yeah.
middle didn't really matter
The
too
middle,
much.
yeah.
But like the end was a lot of story that like people need to know about to make sense of the new one. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, but that's something you could just like Google up because the fact that since the middle part wasn't so big,
you cannot Google this shit, man. That shit was so confusing. Like, even while playing the game, I was confused as fuck.
Yeah.
there's some
Google-
pretty good YouTubers who make the freaking
Oh,
they
those
consolidate
timeline
the
shits?
whole
Yeah.
thing really well. So
I'm still kind of confused by what
Yeah,
exactly
that
happened.
whole
in
that whole
Dream
story
Drop
was
Distance.
like, really confusing. But moving on. So sale wise, people kept on saying console sales are going to go down because it's all about PC gaming.
the
and-
master race.
Yeah, it's all about the master race and handhelds. Well,
How many years have they been going on about PC gaming being like the one true gaming?
no,
and-
it's like it went away when the new generation started. Like because PS2 and Xbox were really popular, that's why. But like and then it's the PC started coming back around the PS3 360.
I feel like this is
upgrading PCs.
I feel like this
Yeah.
is an argument they make like every console generation. Like consoles, like the console comes out, it's out for like a few months, everyone's enjoying it, and then they start making it for computers, and they're just like, it's gonna be way better on computers. Computers are gonna be what's it, and then everyone kind of enjoys
Arkham Knight.
Everyone enjoys all of them, and then all of a sudden they're like, now computer gaming's gonna make a comeback, and then it's just like, hey, PS3 and Xbox 360, and then the whole process starts over, and then they're just like, hey, PS4 and
Well,
Xbox
no,
One.
there's a difference because PC games have seen a rise. Like I can't even deny that. Recently, it has been on the rise.
Yeah,
But like,
I don't know. I can't even do consoles anymore. I buy
But-
consoles and I just use them for
but
Netflix.
the thing with the console is they're about 50% up in sales compared to where PS3 and 360 were in its lifetime. So they're doing like
You said
averages.
consoles, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So PS4 and Xbox One is doing combined 50% better in its life. So it's about 2 years almost now since the systems came out.
Okay.
So in its first 2 years, it's doing 50% better than PS3 and Xbox 360 did in its first 2 years.
Yes, let's only mention those two consoles and not the bastard child that the Wii U is.
Well, because that's not considered next gen because the hardware inside
Oh
is
no,
not.
I'm not saying we need to include it. I completely understand. I like that you mentioned that your consoles only do Netflix because that's all my Wii U did for the past 2 years.
And in all honesty, if you really think about it, the gaming community gets bigger with each generation because gamers never really die. They just get older. And then you have their kids that also become gamers. So it makes sense that there's more consoles being sold because now you have the older gamers and the younger gamers purchasing it.
Yeah, but like game wise, the industry has like taken in my opinion, not a great turn
Yeah, I agree.
because all it's been recently has been sequels, remasters, and MOBAs.
Because I'll be one of those old guys just sitting in my rocking chair looking at my old cartridges
Back
like
in my
Banjo-Kazooie. Be like, back in my game, you bought the game one shot. And like in the future, they're going to be like
No,
injecting
and see, that's why
DLC
like
into
I
you.
kickstarted Ukulele, the
Chameleon Bat.
the new Banjo, essentially.
Yeah, the new Banjo.
the new Banjo Kazooie. It's the Rare employees that created that game that left Rare created a studio and they're making like a spiritual successor.
Is that why Rare is making that whole Rare collection thing? Like
No, they're just
bringing
doing
back
it
all the
because a
old
lot
ones?
of their games were awesome, man.
Yeah.
Who owns Donkey Kong right now?
Which one? Donkey Kong Country or like Donkey Kong 64?
Well, Rare still was a part of
Oh,
Donkey
you're
Kong
talking about who
64.
owns the franchise?
Yeah, who owns
Donkey
Nintendo.
Kong.
No, well, because Rare had a huge
DK.
part in it. Like, Rare's not a part of it anymore, right?
No.
Who's the studio that hopped in for Rare? Isn't there somebody that hopped in instead of Nintendo? I mean, like, obviously Nintendo holds the rights to it. It's Donkey Kong.
I mean, they gave it to the first party, like their.
Like, who
first
did
party.
Tropical Freeze?
Tropical Freeze was the people that made Metro Prime, which is what set people to rage.
Texas something?
Yeah, the team in Texas.
Texaco, you can make.
But they were the team that people got disappointed because Nintendo was hyping up like, yeah, man, that team is working on a game, and everybody's like, finally, a new Metroid Prime. Then they came out with Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and they were like, fuck you, Nintendo.
How about
Fuck
that
you.
other Metroid Prime game though?
We talked about that too many times. We need to get past it.
Nintendo just like shitting on all of its Metroid fans. They're like, I know you love this franchise and I know you love this girl in this suit, but anything but her.
All right. Next story. A user on Reddit that goes by GMABT used a voice attack converting program. So he used a program to convert his voice into keyboard commands.
Okay.
And he beat it Dark Souls with his voice.
Wow, get good.
Yeah, I know. I
Wow.
was like, this guy was just like, I watched a video of it too. He's like, back, side strafe, left side strafe, back, heavy attack. Like that's all he did throughout his video, and he beat the game. And I was just like, all right, my man. I'm like, I can't even do that. I mean, I've seen people on Twitch even play fucking Dark Souls with a guitar.
And wait, he coded that?
That's going completely out. Like, why would you do that? Why would you want to play Dark Souls with a guitar? Like, what enjoyment are you just like, just strumming on my guitar? Oh, look at that, beating bosses. You just start jamming out, playing like the most like ridiculous rock theme, like
But
Mad
that's like
Max.
that's like the dream of like every death metal person. Like you're playing your guitar and things die. Like how awesome was that? Like
Which brings me to an interesting point though, because not only did this guy be like the voice command, so Dark Souls is for some reason going off on Twitch like with a bunch of stuff like playing guitar, voice command beating, but like, so who remembers Pokemon plays Twitch or Twitch plays Pokemon?
Everyone remembers that.
with what was it?
Everybody just
Omanity?
putting in commands and like trying to beat the game together, and it took them 16 days to beat it. Well, now
I'm
they're
surprised
doing
they did it in that short amount of time.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because not even normal. Well, I mean, I assume normal people can beat a Pokemon game in a very short amount of time. But
A
like,
day or two. It really depends because if you stick with like like the team you make in the beginning, you're good to go.
yeah, but like the fact that like all that chaos is going on, and then like the game still got beat in like less than a little more than 2 weeks. Like,
Well, because you got to remember they had that system, anarchy and democracy, and it would switch like between depending on like what's popular.
yeah,
and
but
whatnot.
either way, that's still complete anarchy, and that's that's like a record like of teamwork right there. Like that's the human race prevailing to reach a goal.
Dude,
They're
I
just
think-
like we can play Pokemon together.
I think their biggest setback was the Elite Four. That's why it took 16 days. They had to power level their Pokemans.
And that was like the beginning of so many things, like Lord Helix and everything. And
So what this leads to is Twitch is not doing Twitch plays Dark Souls, which is, I believe, this is.
They'll never.
I think
finish
this is a
the game.
fact. Yeah, it's impossible.
They'll never finish the game.
unless Lord Helix intervenes.
It is goddamn impossible to play this game.
What are they playing now?
Huh?
They're replacing it, right? They're playing a completely different game.
The last time I checked this morning, they were still playing Dark Souls.
Shit.
Because, bro, I like watched it. Like the stream started like in the like PM or AM one day, and I watched it like 8 or 10 hours later. I'm like, they're still in the tutorial area.
Oh
I'm
my
just like,
God.
Jesus Christ. I'm like, you guys are going nowhere. This requires too much precision.
I
It's a
mean, it could be
precision-based
worse. It could be worse. It could be the fish plays, because I know they had a fish plays Pokemon.
See, I would watch. What you call it? I would watch Twitch play like an RPG like Final Fantasy. I would love to see that.
Oh yeah, that
Like
would
an old school, like the
Mhm.
turn-based one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
That's
That's why.
doable.
That's why Pokemon was such a big hit.
Because it's easy. You don't need to like have precision movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, but would they be able to do that with like the new ones that came out? Like, which one's the one with Vaughn? 12?
12.
Yeah, would they be able to beat it with
I see
someone like
Twitch
Vaughn?
plays Monster Hunter.
12
my
is
God.
actually kind of doable.
Imagine they like freaking
What?
detail
Final
everything.
Fantasy 12. It's kind of doable with Twitch plays.
kinda.
Because like you have to engage them into combat in the first place.
Yeah, but everyone's gonna either
Right,
everyone's
left, up,
going
down,
to
right,
avoid
left.
every monster they see, or everyone's going to fight every monster they
Yeah,
see.
but you gotta remember there's also two systems you can go between. You can do where like while you're deciding to attack, the game will freeze so you can like, choose your option or whatever. Or there's the free like, open one where
Yeah.
it keeps on going.
But then
Depends
there's-
on what they choose.
But then there's also that whole system where like you can like you start up like a summon or a magic attack, and then it's just like you jam on these buttons, and you can just keep like bringing together like attack after attack after attack. I mean, like at that
Oh.
rate, people are just gonna be like keep hitting the buttons, keep hitting the buttons, keep hitting the buttons.
Imagine that's how they like win each boss. Like they just keep hitting the buttons and they just do like the infinite chain.
Like when I read the article about them playing Twitch plays Dark Souls, I was like, come on, man, this is like an impossible.
That's
game.
going to be the
isn't there,
most
like,
heartbreaking
parts of the game where you
experience.
have to walk on a ledge.
You gotta
Yeah.
run and like jump like it's.
They're
not
gonna,
possible.
yeah.
This-
It took them forever to get to the Pokemon Center in Twitch.
These guys couldn't get to a door to tutorial and press goddamn A. Where are they gonna like what are they gonna accomplish?
If they do this, it is a real like.
This is where the community has to band together.
I
it's
think
going
my
to be
faith
like
in
a
humanity
real
would
like
be
show of
restored.
human spirit.
Yeah, if they can beat Dark Souls on Twitch, then
dude, respect. Like
If they can beat Dark Souls on Twitch, then we have shown the world that we can achieve anything. We
you know
put our
when
minds
when's
to.
gonna happen? Because I saw the numbers plummet. Like last time I checked, the numbers were like 5,000, 6,000 people. Today it was at like 2,500. They'll beat it when there's like only 10 people watching it and only 10 people inputting it.
The 10 people get all the way to the end and then like the room fills up again.
Yeah, right. That's when
That would be
1,000
the
people
best.
have it.
Boss and they kill the final boss, and as soon as like the end credits start, like the room goes up to like 50,000 again. Just like look at all these people beat Dark Soul.
Well, let's see where it goes from now. Let's see. Take-Two Interactive, who is the owner of Rockstar, the creators of Grand Theft Auto and other open-world games. How much do you think they sold of Grand Theft Auto 5?
For more money than I
No,
could
how many
ever
copies?
think.
How many copies?
more
Oh.
than I can count.
Yeah,
Probably.
more than I could ever imagine there being a number for.
Well, this isn't to consumers directly, but this is to what they sold to retail. They sold 54 million copies.
That's crazy.
That's I think like a really that, I
more
think that might
copies
be
than
the
all
highest number
around.
for like a single like game. Could be. Or it could be up there anyways. 54 million for one this is just one title. It's not like all Grand Theft Autos.
It's
Just
just
for
one Grand Theft Auto.
It's just one of them.
And in my opinion, a slightly disappointing Grand Theft Auto. I expected to get a little more out of it.
A lot of people gave it good reviews and stuff. I'm like you. I didn't think it was like 10 out of 10, but I give it a good. Like,
it was a great game, but I
give it like a good 8 out of 10.
I didn't think it deserved to be remastered just for a first-person view mode.
It wasn't remastered just for that. It was remastered for money.
Well, you know what I mean. Just for that, they were like, "Hey, there's this one mechanic we threw in," and I'm like, "I can
think about
kind of
it.
Call of Duty." I guess.
Not only that, because the PS3 and Xbox 360 version came out right before PS4 and Xbox One came out. Like the systems came out, so they released it for the new system.
Gotta hop on that bandwagon, man.
And then they released it for PC, which everybody knew was going to happen eventually.
Yeah, I did. I've seen it on Steam. I'm waiting on the Steam sale to pick it up. Probably.
It's a good game. It's worth getting.
It's got online functionality, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for me when I purchase games. Like,
I like the online. It's very seamless, the online, because like the way they have the whole mechanic of switching.
You can do
between the three
anything in this
characters.
game.
Yeah.
Well, no, but like the way you can switch between characters, you're just like you bring up your little die and you're like, oh, let me be Trevor.
And
oh
man, all the mods people made for the PC one. Whew.
I see
Man.
people
well, that's
play.
to be expected.
Yeah, I see people playing
but
golf.
Like people got like guns that shoot like whales or sharks out of it. And
Yeah, there's a guy who made a gun
like,
that shot cars.
And I was just like, yeah, that. And I was just like, man, people like are taking it out of the park with this one. The last thing on the list we got is Blizzard. They're finally ending their final game in the StarCraft 2 trilogy. They're already thinking about what they're want to work on next.
They're
which
still
is,
going with the StarCraft stuff.
Well, 2, because they broke it up into 3.
Yeah, I know that's where their downfall was. I don't know why they just didn't put everything in one game.
Because they're selling the single players separate.
mm-hmm.
Because the
Dumb.
multiplayer was like you get all the races as soon as you
I
get
only
one of the
ever
game.
bought the first one.
Of 2. Or
Yeah,
you mean StarCraft
Terran.
1?
That's it. Just
Oh,
Terran.
okay.
Because the other stuff, that's just if you really care about the lore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, apparently the lore is really good though.
Yeah, I
Just
mean
read
that's the
it.
one
You can
thing
just
Blizzard
read it,
does.
though. You don't have
Yeah.
to pay money to.
Blizzard does an amazing job
Because
of creating
there's
story.
no reason to get the expansion for the races.
Yeah,
because
the regular StarCraft and Brood War storylines were amazing.
But they're already thinking about what they want to work on next, and they're like, it's like a tease because they're like, we're already thinking maybe a StarCraft 3, and I was like, no, I don't want that. And they're like,
No,
or maybe
please
Warcraft 4, and I was just like,
I'd be
like-
pick that up.
I'll be there day one.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Really?
I'll pick that shit. Warcraft 3 and Frozen.
I played
Throne
3.
and Frozen Throne, dude.
that was
Those were my jam. Not only that, it led to Dota, which now led to like
League of
the
Legends.
mobile
League of
food.
Legends and
Yep.
the
Remember,
evolution.
Warcraft, man, that's the father of almost
Yeah,
the
like
main games right here. The whole MOBA scene is pretty
Yeah.
much Blizzard's
I must
child.
have put like
Yeah, right.
so much
when you
of
think
my
about it,
life
yeah.
into Frozen Throne. Frozen Throne was that's like a throwback to like that's like such like a great time in my life playing that game, sitting on my computer doing absolutely nothing but playing Frozen Throne.
Because Dota was a mod of Warcraft 3 and Frozen Throne.
Yeah, well, Frozen Throne's custom map. It was called the Defense of the Ancients, I think it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, and
So
then
they
Uh-huh.
made it like a mod from that game,
Mhm.
which then they made it into like their own separate game.
Yep.
Which then people's
Became-
people's like slowed down, but then the people that made Dota made their own company, Riot.
Yep.
Which made League of
some of
Legends.
the people, yeah.
Yeah. So in like when you think about it, Warcraft 3 and Frozen Throne.
That was like the father of all MOBAs as of now, or the modders did.
And they try
whoever
to get
created
back
that map.
into it with Heroes of the Storm.
Which is okay. I mean, they have their
Yeah, it's
own
not
gimmick.
bad.
I mean, that's the one thing I
Well,
like.
you
when
gotta
you see a
remember,
MOBA
Heroes of the
that's not-
Storm wasn't like. I mean, there could be still employees left from like when Dota happened, but like most of them are at Riot now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many people actually.
Well, the founders
swapped.
are at Riot.
Well, I think it was
The
just
people-
not all of them. I think it was like a couple of people who left to make a Riot.
Yeah, well, but the main ones went to Riot
Mhm.
though.
But if they make a Warcraft, I'd be on.
Yeah, I've been wanting 4 forever.
As long as they don't do that Diablo thing where you have to be online to play the game,
Oh my god.
which freaking killed me when it first came out. For Diablo 3, like you couldn't play it as long as you were. If you were not connected to the server, you could not play, and their servers were down.
You
for
know
like
what?
a
I
week.
think it has to be Warcraft when you think about it, because StarCraft 2 came out 10 years after they announced after StarCraft 1, right?
Did it?
Yeah. It's been like they didn't like released or announced it like 8 or 10 years afterwards.
Okay.
Same thing with Diablo 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Which
almost
was letdown.
it's about that time.
it's about that time for Warcraft.
Yeah, maybe that's how they're gonna segue out of World of Warcraft.
See, and that's like why I was worried that they wouldn't make a Warcraft 4 because of World of Warcraft, but I don't want that to be a reason Warcraft. Because World of Warcraft does go off the story of Warcraft 3 and Frozen
it
Throne,
does.
right?
Yeah.
See, and I'm gonna be fucked because I never played I played it for like a minute and then like stopped.
I mean, World of Warcraft, in all honesty, all they did was like, yeah, we like each other. We're going to be one alliance. Yeah, we like each other. We're going to be another alliance. Now the two alliances are going to fight. And then everything just stems out of that. So it's essentially, one day we like each other, one day we don't. Okay, new storyline.
I hope they just make a Warcraft 4 and there's like, World of Warcraft is not canon. I'll be like, thank you.
Well, the stuff that happened in World of Warcraft is actually
It's
pretty
not
cool.
canon.
I hope it's all super canon.
All right. So the last things I'm going to list off are just some gaming conventions that are going to happen from now till the end of the year, which is PAX Prime at the end of this month in Seattle, Washington, August 28th to 31st.
Whoa.
Yeah, woo. Well, Derek went to PAX East this year.
What?
I would actually love to go to a PAX.
I
It was
would too, because
amazing.
I want to experience it. The only thing is, like, we know how it's going to be because we've experienced Comic-Con and all that shit.
Yeah. But see, I could actually get into it.
I went to the Monster Hunter hut. I
Yeah,
got to go.
I have the thing right there.
Stickers.
Yep.
Mad stickers.
I would love to go. This year they changed up their rule that they weren't selling 4-day badges. Because it's a 4-day con, they're not selling multiple day badges. You can only buy single day badges now.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you can experience everything in the
Because-
convention for one day.
Because they found, like, through their data was not a lot of people go there every single day. Like so like if they got a 4-day badge, it went to like waste.
Yeah, but still, the 4-day badge sometimes, if you bought it early enough, was still cheaper than the single day, and that's what the best part was. And for the people who do go every day, now they're gonna be, they're gonna be paying a lot more.
Because they have to buy
Yep.
each day.
And each day combined is more
I
expensive
feel
than
like
the
that would
weekend.
make less people come. Like,
Nope, they sold
certain, Really?
They sold out
I thought
still.
that would be more of like
Nope, it's these
because
shows
they
are,
have to buy a single day. Certain people would be like, "Well, I only need one day."
No, these shows are always going to sell out because there's always a giant
Yep.
wait list.
That's what happens when you have a following. You can almost never die.
Yeah, I think PAX East might adopt it too.
I hope
With
not.
that rule. After that, next month is probably the one that I'm gonna care about the most. Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. I'm really excited.
Which is September 17th to 20th, because that's the con. That's the game convention where you see all the Japanese games that you kind of want to see.
Just
and the one that
kinda.
like Nintendo kind of doesn't show up to.
Nintendo doesn't show up to anything unless it's E3, and they don't even show up to that. They have a Nintendo Direct.
Because they don't want to spend money on the conference. To be fair, the directs are not bad. What they put in the directs are bad.
The idea of the Direct isn't bad.
Dude,
it's
people
just,
love the directs.
No, I love the Directs too. Who's gonna host Direct now?
Let's not think about that.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
wouldn't
depressing.
even know. After Tokyo Game Show is Paris Game Week, in October 28th to November 1st. This is whatchamacallit, GDC, which just Gamescom. I'm sorry, Gamescom that just happened 2 weeks ago, is where Sony does their press conference, their second one during the summer after E3. They opted out, and now they're gonna have a Tokyo Game Show.
Okay.
I mean, Paris Game Week. I'm sorry, but it's gonna be a day before the whole like convention starts. So it's gonna be on October 27th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, which is a Tuesday. And then they announced a couple of days ago the PlayStation Experience is returning this year. I don't know if you heard of that.
What's that?
So PlayStation Experience is not for the media. It's for the gamers. So like there's no media passes or anything. It's for gamers to buy the badges, like if we were going to like Anime Next or something. You just register and you go to the convention, try out
Okay.
games that are coming out.
Where is it being held?
Last year was at Las Vegas. This year is in San Francisco. We'd never get
Still
lucky.
far shit.
Yeah, we never get lucky to get shit like that on the East Coast.
1 year it'll be like in New York.
Like,
Something.
think about it this way: we get the BS version of Comic Con.
Yeah.
New York Comic Con?
We get the BS version of Prime or PAX.
Yeah. But PAX East is pretty cool though.
PAX
It
is
is.
pretty good.
But like, we still get the
Yeah,
Yeah, the
secondary.
offside,
we
yep.
get we get the secondaries.
We get the scraps.
We never gonna get a main one.
Unless we make one.
Hey, let's talk about that later.
Call it the Derek experience.
Because we could do it in Atlantic City. And then the last one, probably one I'm looking forward to, is Jump Festa in December from the 19th to 20th. Now, Jump Festa is not really anything for gaming. It's mostly anime and manga stuff. But Square Enix usually has a strong presence there. And that was like, Jump Festa is the one con they announced like 3 Kingdom Hearts game at once that one year.
3 Kingdom Hearts fillers.
Birth by Sleep is not a filler. See, that's the thing. That's another side game that should have just been called Kingdom Hearts 0. Like, it should have been.
See, when I hear Birth by Sleep, I think of someone giving birth in their sleep. Like,
That sounds actually quite peaceful.
Because you don't, like, notice it.
you just wake up, you have a baby.
It's like one of those TV shows where, like, I didn't know I was pregnant.
It's like a TLC
Sitting on the
setting.
toilet, and I thought it was just shit. A baby came out.
But, like, I don't know, man. They announced, that year was the year they announced 358 over 2.
Filler.
Recoded.
Filler.
And Birth by Sleep.
Filler. Oh, I
That-
just
no,
wanted to say
that one. Was not filler. But no, in all intents and purposes, I believe Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance should have been a filler because they actually have important roles.
Well, no. I wouldn't consider those fillers. Like, Birth by Sleep, that's the beginning of the entire story. But 358, they were just like, remember how we made Chain of Memories? Now this is what was going on
love
at that
Chain of
same point in time.
Memories.
But even that one was actually somewhat important to the storyline because didn't
No,
that
it
establish how the memories are put into, what was it, Roxas, that later got put back into Sora or something?
I guess so.
Explained the creation of Roxas and the need for Roxas to the story.
Yeah. Otherwise, it was like unimportant.
And then Recoded was something similar.
Yeah.
I don't know. They always
I
put,
love
like,
Chain of
they put like
Memories.
little tidbits in it that's somewhat
Chain of
important.
Memories is one of my favorites.
358 over 2 was somewhat important because they were just like, this is what was going on during Chain of Memories, but after Roxas was created. This is just the other side of the coin.
All right. So next, I'd usually talk about the video games coming out, which is Until Dawn, coming out August 25th.
Ish.
No, it is 25th, next week. Which is a Heavy Rain-like game, if you played Heavy Rain. I
Good
love those
game.
type of games.
I liked
They're
Heavy
interesting.
Rain.
I mean-
did not like Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah, that was garbage. But like these games are, I wouldn't even consider them games. They're not really games.
It's more of an experience.
It's an interactive movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one is horror based, not made by the same company, not Quantic Dreams, and it stars actual TV actors and stuff. We got Hayden Panettiere, who is the cheerleader in Heroes, and then we got I don't know what the guy's name is, but Ward from Agent of Shield.
Oh,
I don't know the actor's name,
crap, I forgot.
but he's in the game too.
Hmm.
But it looks
They
really
always have a
interesting.
knack of getting people like that for these games. I mean, like Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe for the last game.
Yeah, Beyond Two Souls was William Dafoe and
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page.
Which were really good choices, but man, it was just executed so poorly.
Yep. And then on September 1st, we got Metal Gear Solid 5.
Finally.
Then 9/11, we got Super Mario
we got
Maker.
on 9/11.
What happened
Super
on 9/11?
Mario Maker. Anyway,
Okay. But let's move on to our weekly our topic of the week. And this topic is an unusual one because it's from another podcast. So there was a Nintendo. We're not going to say names, all right? No names.
Derek.
Fine. For this story purpose, we'll call him Derek.
What?
That's probably
No.
really good because I forgot his name already.
No, okay.
You said we
I
wouldn't
don't
say
know.
names. I said a name.
All right. So
Do I
Derek,
win the game?
an
What?
employee at Nintendo.
I worked at Nintendo.
Fine. Gabe, an employee at Nintendo.
He worked at Nintendo.
that's why he moved.
Gabe, an employee at Nintendo, was
Watch
on a
his
podcast.
name actually be Gabe.
He was on a podcast, and so in this podcast, we'll give you a little background on it because Nick and Derek have not
Yeah, I've
know anything about this.
I've heard
besides-
about it. I just know I've heard it was a thing that happened, but I don't know exactly what
I
it
have
was.
heard zero.
All you know is like
information
essentially somebody got
about
fired
this.
from Nintendo.
Yeah, something happened and it was big. That's all I know.
So Nelson and I actually listened to the podcast. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I tapped out at like 50 so minutes.
I did the whole thing. 'Cause
How
I'm
long is
amazing.
it?
Huh?
How long
It's like
is
an hour and a half.
It was an hour and I think 18 minutes.
Yeah, so almost like an hour
You
and a
were
half.
so close.
No, like I just couldn't. Like because okay, so you guys know what NDA is, right? Nelson
NBA?
knows.
Did you say NBA?
NDA,
Vaguely.
Oh.
What is that?
a non-disclosure act.
Oh, okay.
So we probably know Nintendo has a crazy one because they're mad anal about their Nintendo like products on
Any other
YouTube.
intellectual properties.
Yeah, on YouTube, like the whole YouTube shit they got going on, where you're not allowed to play, do Let's Play of Nintendo videos and make,
Money off it.
make direct money off it from ads.
Yeah, like no Markiplier or doing anything like that or anything.
Well, but they have their own program now where they do it. If your channel is solely Nintendo, they take a 40% of your cut
Holy shit.
from your ads, and then if you just do video by video, they take 30%. I'm sorry, if you do your whole channel is just Nintendo videos, and then 40% if you're just doing a video on video basis.
That's when you begin to diversify. Like you make 2 separate channels, one for Nintendo, one for like every other system.
Because it's so if you do every other system, you make 60%. If you're just Nintendo, you make 70. And mind you don't get the full 60 or 70 because that gets cut from YouTube taking the money too.
It's just really harsh.
Yeah.
So you're making like no money.
No, you still make money, but that's why like
you're
can't
making
just,
like 30% money probably.
you're
of your
making
profit
you are
margin.
now making a third like minimum less than what you were before. That only depends on how many viewers you have. But anyways, so this guy was in a podcast, and he just started talking about like a bunch of stuff I personally think he should not been saying in the beginning, in the first place, because I'm pretty sure that he was not supposed to. And I can confirm this because, all right, so I read NeoGAF, if you guys know what that is. It's a gaming forum, just like, a bunch of people on there talking all this stuff. And like somebody posted a link of another podcast episode he did a year before, where he talked about how he's like, I can't talk about stuff like this, and this podcast episode was a year ago, so this was a year in advance in the making. Because in this episode, people like actually wrote in the forums, like they quoted him, like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about stuff like this." Blah,
Multiple
blah, blah,
times
blah.
that was said.
Like he says that so many times. Then fast forward a year to the like couple of like last week, dude talks about shit he shouldn't have talked about. Then he got fired. And it wasn't like little stuff, right? Like he talked about.
I mean, there was like times where he was talking about what like Square Enix would be doing. He was talking about his bosses. I mean, he was just saying a whole bunch of things that, as a listener, it really gives you some insight as into how Nintendo works.
Which is great for us.
But it's
But
bad
not
for
great for
Nintendo.
them.
So, like, my question is, what do you guys think? Do you think Nintendo was too harsh in firing him, or should they just gave him a warning?
I mean,
Because here's my thing, like he stated in an episode a year before on a different podcast that he shouldn't be talking about this shit. Now, people on the forums are like, "Hey, they might have not said anything to him about that episode, so he took that as an okay."
Well, like if he wants, in my opinion, if he wants to play with fire, he can't be surprised if he gets burned.
That's the thing. If you read, he put this Facebook post on after he got fired, where he's like, "Hey guys, I lost my job," and he was going like the sad, touchy-feely route.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was kind of hard to feel bad for him because most of the shit he's like,
You
bad
can't
about,
be surprised.
because he's like, I
honestly.
got student debt and everything. I'm like, a lot of people got student debt. Like that doesn't mean anything. Like not a lot of people are gonna get touched with that because people have it worse than you. Because his thing is like, I got my student debt on a little under $100,000. I'm like, my cousin has a student debt of over $250,000.
Yeah.
Like I know people with like worse. Like so I can't even feel bad.
I mean, I think the thing that people forget nowadays is like maybe like 20, 30 years ago when you left your job stayed where it was and it didn't follow you. Now, when you're a localization rep and you're talking about an international company, anything and everything you do represents the company that you work for, especially if you're going around and using the Nintendo name to kind of like bring yourself into situations like that podcast. So when you go and, you talk bad about the fan base, you talk bad about, or not even bad, but you're just talking a negative light about your bosses, you know.
I mean, because he didn't really make fun of the consumers directly, But he did that like nasally voice and be like, "Oh, why don't you care about us?" Like, you know, he does like one of those things, and then people took that as like, you know, hey, fuck you.
I mean, if you listen to the whole podcast, he does it multiple times in different like settings. But the fact of the matter is that we're in a very sensitive culture right now. Like, you do things like that. I mean, there was a point where he was saying that fan bases of like some things, like I think he was talking about Xenoblade Chronicles. He's like, you guys need to realize that you guys are such a minority that essentially we as Nintendo don't really care about you guys, and that's why we can't bring localization to America, because you guys won't give us the money back that we're spending for the localization. And that's the number one thing that people don't want to realize is that they are the minority. That's kind of like derogative. Like, I can't go up to somebody and be like, you're a minority, you're so minor that, you know, we as a corporation don't care about you.
That hurt my feelings.
Exactly. Like, and as much as I enjoyed saying that about Derek and hurting his feelings, I can't do that if I represent an international company who's relying on these people to give them money to essentially pay for their paychecks. Like, you just can't do that.
They
you have
just
to
want
keep that
what
in
they
mind.
want. They're spoiled also.
No, but like the way he was talking in the podcast does not sound like a person that was working at Nintendo.
No, he sounded like just a regular
Like he sounded like a disgruntled person that got fired from Nintendo or something.
I mean, like there's a point that he was talking about, I think Xenoblade Chronicles, where he was like, you know, the only reason we're bringing this in is because I think what was it, like Nintendo of Europe or Asia or whatever is going to take the hit.
I want to touch up on that.
Is going to take the hit. So now you're making fun of the group that's going to reimburse this pretty much this section of your company who's putting in the money to bring this out as a game in America. Like,
not only that, like because we knew none of this. We knew none of this, like how they operate or whatever, because when they were gonna release it in America, they were like, we're gonna see how it does in Europe before we bring it over here. So what this guy just let slip essentially was like, that wasn't the case at all. The case was Europe decided to localize it, they took it, so they didn't need to take the hit. So they showed how, like, you know, how they were, like, you know, how they operate over there, which he probably should not have done. And the worst part was, like, he's like, I did not expect to get fired. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, he wrote that in, like,
you're revealing like family secrets and you expected to keep your job essentially. Like,
I mean, there was parts when he was talking about, I think his name was like Sakura.
Oh,
Sakura, and he's like the guy who works for like
the one who made
Smash Brothers.
Oh,
He's just talking about how this guy is like like a perfectionist, and like if people don't see his games the way that he envisions it, he like gets all depressed and mopey. There was one point where he was comparing him to Van Gogh, where like if one of the games doesn't come out the way that he wants it to come out, he's gonna go and he's gonna cut his ears. And you're just like, you're portraying him as someone who really cares about his fans, but at the same time, you're kind of just like making him this comical character that you're not putting your boss in a positive light, and no boss wants that. Nobody wants a subordinate who's kind of like putting them in this weird spot.
Look, I was surprised that he thought he wasn't gonna get fired.
Yeah, right. And like, I mean, if you went on a podcast and you were just like, I can't say this, I can't say that, like a year ago, I mean, like, it's your fault if you didn't think to remember that, like, oh, it's still the same thing, it's the same setting. A year later, yeah, but still the same setting. Like, you're still gonna have to be like, oh, this can't be said, that can't be said. I don't know what went through his mind to just be like, oh, now I can all of a sudden talk about all this.
Maybe
all
he
the things
thought
like
the rules changed in a year.
new user agreement.
No, I think people, like what people said in the forums, like, I guess he took it as an okay because nobody said it about anything about his first podcast episode he did. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think he just
cared.
got too relaxed. Like, he just got too comfortable. And I think that's what really happened. Like, this thing, like, there was one point where he was like, I shouldn't even be talking good about my competitors because Nintendo doesn't like seeing that. But I think he was talking about BioShock Infinite. He was like, oh, it was such a great game, but I shouldn't be saying that because, you know, Nintendo doesn't want us to talk good about the competitors, but it was such a great game, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, if you're starting off a sentence with, I shouldn't be saying this, then you should just stop right there.
Yeah.
Like, you should not continue that sentence.
Yeah,
I mean, are they really not allowed to say they like other games? Because I'd see other, like, big, like, you know, Sony people doing that and Microsoft people doing that.
If it's a good game, I don't think you should be ashamed of calling it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Shohei Yoshida, the president of first party development in Sony, straight up goes like, I play Wii U with my kids every day. Like,
yeah, but Nintendo's a very, I guess, old school mentality kind of company.
See, if all he did was just praise BioShock and is just if he just talked about how good of a game he was, then he got fired for doing that, then that'd be understandable. Like, why'd you get fired? You were just saying how good of a game this was.
And I wouldn't even consider BioShock like a competitor though. because it's the
Yeah,
third party
BioShock
game.
Infinite, even just the whole premise of BioShock Infinite is like, or just a BioShock franchise in general is something that I've never seen in any Nintendo game.
Not only that, it's a
But-
third party game. It's not like it's direct competition with PlayStation or Microsoft, like their first party games. Like it'd be different if he was like, "Yo, Uncharted is amazing," because that's a direct competition.
From Sony.
But like, BioShock Infinite could have been on like whatchamacallit, the Wii U.
Could have.
Could have.
Actually, I think it would have worked out really well if it was.
It would have, because
like
like
on
it's
the-
on PS3 and Xbox 360, and Wii U's like just as powerful. It's just like Nintendo, usually their third party support sucks on consoles.
That would have actually been pretty cool because you would have been able to see like your inventory and your map on the remote. or
Yeah,
something
people
like
make the
that.
smartest decisions for the Wii U versions of games, but like third party developers don't want to do it anymore because they just don't see the like.
the benefit.
Come on, like obviously there's barely any. I won't say barely. There's over like probably like 10 million Wii U
I want
sold,
Gears of War on the Wii U.
but like that's a first party game, so that's never gonna happen.
I know.
But like
This is
if you
coming
look at
from
it, like
me.
their top selling games are always their first party games. Third party games don't do like well on Nintendo.
Well,
And,
because they don't translate well to these ridiculous new lengths they go to make
like
their systems
controls,
more
their
notable.
system always has some sort of weird like innovation thing that people don't give a shit about.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
we had their share of third party games, but like not like so many of them.
yeah, and now the Wii U, it's such a hard thing for developers to work with. They're like, not only do we have to port this over to make sure it works for your specs of the system you're giving us, but like we also have to make sure like now we have a tablet to implement into this game, and how are we gonna do that?
Like for me at this point, my Wii U is just a first party game station.
Yeah, I've
Like-
always thought of.
Like there's no reason for me to get a third party game. Like we got Call of Duty on there once, played it for like how long, Derek? Like 2-3 weeks.
Well, Black Ops?
Yeah.
I played it for a
Derek
long
I'm
played
talking
that
about, like, I'm talking about
forever.
like when we played together.
Oh,
We played it for like 2 or 3 weeks together, and then after that, it was just like he just played on his like whenever he could.
yeah.
Derek got really good at it on the Wii U too.
Yo, come see me in Battlefield. Well, I guess our next game is gonna be Battlefront. But like when going back to this though, like like
Parties here.
huh?
No, that's what I yelled out with the shotgun and the
Wow.
silencer.
Okay. No, but like the Wii U's like when you go to somebody's house or like when you talk to people, what do they say? Do you ever hear them say, "I just have this system"? No, nowadays.
it's always more than one system. I have an Xbox One.
Well, I mean, no. Some people do say they have one. I'm talking about like the newer ones. Like they'd be like, "Oh no, I just have PlayStation 4, or I have Xbox One." Now a lot of them like last generations, like I have a PS3 and Wii, or it's I have a 360 and Wii.
It's 2 to 3, I guess.
Yeah,
I
and
feel
it's,
like no one's ever gonna tell you, yeah, I got this and a Wii U.
it's
'cause-
like okay. Let me rephrase it. It's mostly a Nintendo system, and then Sony or Microsoft, one or the other. That's like the combo I see the most of. I do see combos of PS3 and Xbox and
well,
PS4
no,
and Xbox.
yeah, I agree, but like I feel like that's even much more of a last gen thing because I feel like everyone's not hope, I guess faith. Yeah, I guess that's really the word. Faith in Nintendo is just really just dying out because the support they get and with the product they put out, everyone's just like, why would I be interested in this when I can just have the experience so much better on just one system by itself? And then the war just between Sony and Microsoft is just becoming more and more embroiled because people used to be like, yeah, I'll own a PS3 and an Xbox 360, but now they're just like, no, PS4. Fuck that other system. Fuck that entire company. And I'm like, wow, that went somewhere I didn't even need
I
to go
personally
to.
think console loyalty is retarded.
I don't know. The
Yeah.
only thing I ever buy. Actually, I don't have any of the next gen
I mean,
generations.
granted, I'll always buy a Nintendo system because I grew up on Nintendo. I will always support them. I still love their first party games nowadays.
Yeah,
Besides, like their like once in a while fuck ups, but like
I'm glad I have a Wii U. Granted, I only have, I think, 3 games for the Wii U, and it's been out for how many years?
so essentially,
yeah,
you have like
it
the
came
whole
out 1
collection.
more than PS4 and Xbox.
I have
I
Wind
have
Waker.
Splatoon. I only played that for like a week
Dude, same here, man. Like, and I get all the updates. I'm like, I should play this.
because they give you all the free DLC for it.
No, I'm sorry. I have 5 games, and 2 of the games came with the system, so I really
yeah,
only went out of
Nintendo
my way to
World.
buy 3 games. Mario and Nintendo World came with it, and then I bought Wind Waker, Smash Brothers, and Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, I have Wind Waker, Smash Brothers. What else do I have? Assassin's Creed 3.
and Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Black Ops. That's actually.
Oh yeah, I had Zombie U, but then I got rid of that real quick.
I had that.
I still have to finish it.
Batman Arkham City, got rid of that real quick.
Let's see. I have almost like every single first party Nintendo game.
Darksiders, got rid of that real quick.
You know what? When I think about it, my whole Wii U lineup is all first party games. I don't have any third party on there at all, besides Call of Duty, which I got rid of, and Zombie U, which I also don't have because I beat the shit out of it.
The only thing for me that exists Nintendo is the handhelds. Like I don't have any consoles. The only thing I like is the
I
DS.
remember you specifically saying the handhelds were dead for you because
They are,
wouldn't
'cause I'm
release
still waiting for the miniature. I have yet to upgrade my DS.
Yeah,
And I
he
had to
wants to
buy
get
an
the new
external
3DS.
battery to be able to play my handheld. I have an external battery because I refuse to buy the big one.
He wants to get the small Nintendo 3DS since we only got XL in America.
I mean, what's the point of having this giant freaking
More
boulder
clarity for your
sized
screen.
for that I might as well just get a console and play at home.
They want you to burn out your retinas on the go now. Come on.
But anyways, back to this podcast that we were talking about this dude fucking up. What do you guys think? Do you think Nintendo was too harsh?
No.
You don't think they were harsh at all,
I think,
right?
if anything, he was just incredibly more stupid than
Like I said,
he thought he was.
Play with fire. Don't get surprised. If you get
I do
burnt.
feel bad for him that he lost his job and everything.
I don't.
But like he
He bought it on himself, 100%. He knew better before, and to say that, oh, maybe nobody cared. Obviously, nobody's going to praise him and be like, good job on doing what you're supposed to do. Of course, they're going to call him out when he did something he wasn't supposed to.
It does suck that you lose your job for something that's not even that you weren't even on the clock for.
Yeah, that's why I'm
But
saying.
you know,
Like,
But
I do feel bad on that.
As an employee, like, he should understand that, like Nelson said earlier, like, wherever he goes, like, he is a representative of that company
Exactly.
at all times. And that's something he should have known better about. He
Even-
represents Nintendo at all times.
That's like when we were talking about like other stuff before. Like if your company sends you out to like another location to do work on something, just because you're not on the clock and you're gonna go out for dinner doesn't mean like it could still come to bite you in the ass later.
yeah.
Right? Doesn't mean you can go out and party and expect the tabloids not to pick you up being,
Like
drunk
if you
and
did
throwing
something
up all over
crazy.
the place.
But like yeah, it's the same concept. Like
And maybe it might be hard for him to find another job because like he did badmouth his higher ups.
Yeah,
Right?
this
No one
was
wants that.
Yeah.
and he
I
kind
don't know if he'll have a hard job or hard time finding a new job.
It won't be
I mean,
easy,
his
but it will-
personality on the actual podcast was actually okay. He was very awake, very livid. He was very engageable. So maybe he'll get something along the lines of that. But for Nintendo, I don't think. Maybe he's a janitor.
I mean,
That's
the
about
only
it.
way it'll be bad for him is if like you put his name in Google and it just shows up everywhere.
Let's search you in Google. Oh, boy.
I mean, that's essentially.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
that's all
like
people
that's like
do
a
now in order-
prerequisite for even applying for a job now.
That's why people change their names on Facebook.
Oh man, the first 3 links was about him.
Are they good?
No, that's not. All right. So that's it for this week. We all came to a conclusive that he kind of had it coming.
He kind of deserved it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he'll be able to pay his loans off.
Yeah, hopefully he'll bounce back, but
Hey,
I mean,
when I
oh,
Google
like, I
my
mean, the
name,
other
the first
backstory
2
was, like-
pictures said gamer.
His other backstory was like that was like his first job and only job, I think it was,
I have no idea. I
from
didn't.
his Facebook thing he wrote.
I didn't read.
Like
the
he worked
Facebook
at
thing.
Nintendo as like as
But he was
an
only
intern.
there for 3 years.
He started as an intern, right? I think,
Yeah, I think
and
he
then-
said the first thing he worked on was Animal Crossing New Leaf.
or something like that. Yeah, he started there, and then like from there he continued working there, and it was his like all-time job. But he sounded like a complete Nintendo fanboy, which is why it's
Yeah.
weird that he just did all that.
Even at the end, he said people would ask him, "Oh, why are you praising Nintendo so much?" And he's like, "Because they pay me to." So, yeah.
I feel like if he's such a fanboy, then like this is knowledge he should have already had going into this conversation. Like, yeah, my job might suck and it's not everything I thought it was gonna be, but like I know Nintendo has like the centuries old like creed about themselves that I should make sure I stick to. But you know what? Fuck it, throw it out the window.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just do me today.
I mean, for us it was cool because we got the insight of how Nintendo works.
Yeah, like I said,
For
it was
Nintendo,
really
it-
cool
it
because you got to
sucked.
see how the localization happens. The different cultures kind of clashing. What one culture thinks is okay, the other one doesn't think is good. So that insight was cool, but that's probably something Nintendo didn't really want everyone to see. So
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it did sound kind of like not half-assed, but like
I mean, there was even a point where he was talking about how they have conflicting issues whenever America brings out a new, Mario World or new whatever game. How in like Europe and Asia it's like super cool because like chic, in America it's just lame.
A lot of people love Sheik here.
So I don't know. Hopefully he finds another job.
Yep. But yeah, let's call it there for this week. Thank you guys for joining us. Until next time, in 2 weeks, right before school starts for us.
Yay.
Well, all of us? Yeah,
Middle
all of
school
us,
for
right?
me.
Yep.
So
Oh, middle school. That's right. Nelson's only...
I just graduated kindergarten.
yeah.
Man, your English is really great for a person from
Great.
kindergarten.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
They
to
told
thi-
me I could skip the first grade.
Just the first.
He has to
Yeah.
work on his cursive writing in 2nd grade.
Yeah, I just learned how to tie my shoes, bro.
I just realized
You should
I took
know
cursive
that
writing
at
at
a
school.
better age than first grade. But yeah,
I'm
until
a
next
late
time.
bloomer.
Until next time, though. Peace.
Bye guys.
Later.
Who are we saying bye to?